We updated the displays and reports, and we also updated some features you may be interested in. There was a sheet as you walked in. Looks like this. It was front and back. On the top of it, it just says information update newsletter. That's kind of what I'm going to be going over. First and foremost, there were changes to the search forms in regards to the number of garage spaces, changes to listing input regarding the sale type field, and changes to the displays and reports. Some of them had to do with the property subtypes, DOM and CDOM, the sale type field, the COE date, and the map book field. So read over those bullet points. May or may not affect you at this time, but it's always good information to have. In regards to the updates to the features, I wanted to cover this just a little bit more in depth. The first one was the CRMLS, the Matrix platform now gives you the ability to quickly search for an agent's listing activity directly from the roster search results screen. So you can access that when you're in the Matrix system by going to roster and selecting agent roster. You can enter your search criteria in the fields, keeping in mind if you use the asterisk, that's your wild card. So if you're not sure of an agent's first or last name, you can start inputting the letters, use the asterisk, pull them up in that manner. You'll click the results tab at the bottom and make sure that you select the agent. There's a small box that will be to the left-hand side. I wish I had a little bit, but, to the left-hand side, you'll click that. You can click the refine button at the bottom, and then you can select all listings, and it'll search the selected from the drop-down menu and view all the listing activities for that particular selected agent. Okay. How many of you guys are so excited about that? All right. Second super cool feature that we released on April 16th, My Listings Inventory. This feature in the Matrix platform now includes a My Listing Inventory display that allows you to view all the listings where you were the listing agent, the co-listing agent, the selling agent, or the co-selling agent.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay. You can reach out. The stars on the paper kind of shows you how to do it. You can go to My Matrix, select My Listings, and then select the My Listing Inventory from the drop-down, and it will give you all of that information. Okay. Third and major thing that rolled out is for brokers, managers, office assistants only.
Yes.
This is for, it will display your office expiring listings and your office active listings. It will allow, like I said, brokers, office managers, and office assistants to view all of their office's active and expiring listings. Again, all the stars on the paper shows you guys, you'll go to My Matrix, My Listings, and select the My Listing Inventory dropdown, and it's located at the bottom of the dropdown. That's kind of it for me. Are there any questions? Are you super excited to use it?
Yes.
All right, good. Now I want to introduce to you the rules guru at CRMLS. This is Jeannette Biggs.
All right.
Thank you. All right, no thrilling things. I know this isn't the fun part. Data integrity in the MLS is very important, though, and it's hard to enforce on the association level, especially when there's agents that don't understand certain things. Some of the agents make errors by accident. They're not doing it on purpose. And we all know there's those that try to do things on purpose. So one of the main things that we rely on at the multiple listing service and at the association level is that members report violations that they see in the MLS database. The most important thing to you in your business and to appraisers, agents, everybody that's working in the business, the most important thing to you is your data for your comps. And if it's wrong, fraudulent, incorrect, not being kept up to date, it affects everyone in the industry and the entire business. So it's very important to keep it clean. If you report a violation on anyone, you're held anonymous. Okay, so no one knows who's reporting the violations, so don't be fearful to click that link and report, even if you're unsure. Now, if you're an agent that gets a violation reported on you, you can also be rest assured that you won't know who reported it, but your association is looking at that violation first and seeing and deeming if it's a true violation. If they're unsure or they have to call a contract or get more information from you, you will receive the violation notice via email. Make sure you contact them right away to get it cleared up if you don't think that it is a violation. If it is a violation and you went, whoops, I goofed, get in there and correct it as soon as possible. You have 2 business days to correct a violation. If you do not correct a violation in the 2 business day time frame, those fines will increase. And dependent upon what tier you committed a violation in and what fine level you're in, those can get really steep, really fast. So number 1, make sure you have your correct email address in Matrix Roster. Make sure you have your correct email address on your listings. That's where those violation notices and any warnings about expiring listings or anything else that's going on, that's the email address that those warnings are going to go to. Okay? And make sure you check that email. All right. Are we having fun yet? I know, mine's not as exciting and fun, but I guarantee there's things here that affect you on a daily basis, and we'll probably get some questions and comments as I start addressing some of these things. What we're going to cover are the top violations in the Matrix platform and how you can avoid them. The top 5 violations have been the top 5 violations running, I'd say, for 3 years now. It never ceases to amaze me. The more agents we get in, the more listing data we get in, we still have issues. Part of that's geared because of the market that you're in. The other part of that's geared because agents just don't know. They either don't go to training, they don't learn, they follow someone else's lead, that other someone else may not have the correct lead. So they just lack, or they're doing it on purpose. Okay, we've got both. Number 1 is status violations. We're going to go over those in a little more detail. Listing status violations are still one of our top violations in the system. Number 2 is auto sell, which is also a status violation. That's why status violations is our top violation. Agents aren't changing their status or closing their listings in a timely manner. We'll go over those too. Property description violations, the public remarks area. Violations occur in that area quite a bit. Information is input there that shouldn't be there. We're going to go over that. No listing photo violations. This one always blows me away. Because in your industry, the photo is probably one of your most key factors in selling that property. And we still, to this day, we have photo violations. We're going to go over that in a little more detail. We're also going to cover inaccurate APN violations. This one may not be so much in your area, but we are going to cover it because it is a top violation in the database right now. Agents are inputting either inaccurate or fraudulent, or they goof and they get a little dyslexic like I do with numbers, and they transpose a couple numbers and they get the APN in incorrectly and they incur a violation in the database. So we're going to go over why that's important as well. Okay, you do have a handout for this also, so if you can't read the screen, I got a handout for you on these rules, so you guys can look over that. There's also some links on that handout that's going to take you through. It's the one that says top violations. Okay, there's some links on that. You can follow those links. I can get a copy of this in an electronic form over to Albert to send to you as well, if you need it, to get to some of these areas that I'm linking you to. Listing status violation. The best way to avoid this violation is get your listings updated within 2 business days. Again, I'm going to give you a definition of what 2 business days are. I know in realtor world, 7 days a week are business days. Okay, when it comes to the rules, 2 business days and business days are considered Monday through Friday banker's hours, basically. Okay, so change your status within 2 business days. You get an accepted offer on Saturday afternoon, you have 2 business days to get it into the correct status in the MLS platform. That doesn't include Sunday, that would be Monday, Tuesday, okay? Make sure you get it in there in a timely manner. You could do it beforehand as well. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Get it over and done with right away so I don't forget. Okay, so I also put in here some status definitions. Okay, we have 2 on-market statuses. Those are also noted in the CARET's rules and regs, and they're also defined in there, so you can see these definitions there as well. The active status means you have a valid active listing contract exists and there's no offer with or without contingencies has been accepted. Okay, that's your active listings. Then you have a backup on-market status. You have an offer accepted, and either number 1, the seller requests that the property remain in an on-market status and is looking for backup offers, or number 2, the sale is subject to court or other third-party approval. So when you have an active listing that you have an accepted, fully executed contract on, it needs to go into another status, whether it's going into the pending status or you're putting it in the backup status. And this is even an issue that's come down through CAR and NAR where there's been issues, and even Bank of America has finally issued a notification that when they've got these short sales, they can't require agents to leave it in an active status. Backup would still be considered on-market active status. So when your banks are telling you, you got to leave it in the active status, that's what backup position is. Make sense? Am I confusing anybody? Okay. Your off-market statuses. I know this one's a little bit smaller, but you'll be able to see it when you click through the link on the handout. Hold. The off-market status, first one is hold. This means you have a valid listing contract in effect. However, because of various reasons, such as repairs, illness, guests, etc., the sellers requested that there temporarily be no showings. So you're still marketing the property. It's off-market, but you've got it in a hold do not show it, and it's in the MLS database. It's up to you and that seller if you put it into the hold status and why you're putting it in there. Will an agent report it if they think it's in there for the wrong reason? Absolutely, and you should if you have that issue come up. What ends up happening is the association will call the contracts for that, and we do have the MLS rules to call contracts. So if you ever have a status violation reported and you hear from your association and they say, can you give me the contract that shows why you need to be in whatever status you're in, just get that information over to them as soon as possible when they request it, okay? It's not that we're not trusting anybody, but if an agent reports it, for some reason they think it's wrong. They could be on the other end, we don't know. But we do have to follow through. We have an obligation to all of our members to make sure that the data is accurate, clean, and up to date. Withdrawn. Withdrawn status is you have a valid listing agreement in effect, however the property is no longer being marketed. So you still have a listing agreement, but you're pulling it out of the MLS and not marketing it for whatever reason, okay? Pending status, the seller has accepted an offer and is not soliciting offers through the MLS. When you put a listing into pending or backup, now that I've gotten those 2 status definitions out, that's when we come into the auto sell. How many of you are aware of what auto sell is? Okay, I'm going to define it a little bit without getting too crazy on you. When you put a listing into backup or pending, you're required to put in the estimated close of escrow date, the estimated sales price, the estimated selling agent, concessions, and concession notes, right? You guys know all that estimated stuff. $5, where's the guy now? It's Caesar, is it $10? Carry on. I needed that little intro. Okay, so when you put it, yeah, when you put a listing in backup or pending, you know you're required to put in all that estimated information. No one can see that estimated information but you, not even that selling agent. Okay, so one, be rest assured of that. The reason why you're putting that in, though, is the system will send you reminders when you're coming due to that estimated close of escrow date. So if your escrow is pushing out for whatever reason, like they always do, make sure when you get those warnings that you're getting close, you go in and you push that date out. You just go back into backup or pending, whichever one it is, and you push that estimated close date out, okay? If you do not, it's considered a status violation. And what will occur is 2 days after that estimated close of escrow date passes and you still ignore that listing, you're going to get a violation, a status violation. You're going to get a little asterisk next to your P or your B for backup or pending, and then 3 days after that, 2 days, so 5 days later after that estimated close, it's going to flip to sold with a little asterisk. And then all that estimated information will be viewable. Okay, so it's very important to get in there and change those. Agents that are running comps, they're seeing those S's with the asterisk and they're ignoring them because they're figuring the agent just ignored the listing in the MLS database. It's not accurate, so they're not going to use it unless they want to trust that it's correct. If you ever get into an auto sale situation, contact your association right away. Even though you've already committed the violation and you're going to have to pay the fine, you'll remember next time, but at least the association can help you and assist you through closing that listing properly so that little asterisk is not there and your comps will be good. Okay? Makes sense? Cancel. Everybody knows what canceled is. Listing agreement's canceled. Expired. Listing agreement is expired. The system will already automatically expire your listings. Sold is your status for closing, and leased is your status for leasing a property. Any questions on statuses? Yes?
I do. I have a pending transaction, and I have a buyer and a seller that are disputing at escrow. Money is there. I have it pending. I put my estimated time. That's long gone.
Push it out.
It's probably a year, so I keep on pushing it out. Is that the way to do it?
That's exactly.
Even though it says there my listing expired already, because I'm not renewing that agreement between the seller and my company.
But you're still in an active transaction that's still closing.
It may never close, so I keep on putting pending, 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 pending until when?
Until it closes or it expires, yeah, or you cancel it. Again, the MLS isn't going to tell you how your contract and your deal
Yeah, but
is
I don't want
going.
to become into a violation either.
Right. And if someone reports it because it's been in pending for a year and a half, then you'll need to show the contract.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah. Yes.
I had a problem with holding. I put a property on, but the days on market continue, and we were in hold for 3 months. So when it came back on, it looked like it had gone on forever because of the amount of the days. Albert was nice enough to let me start over again. But is there some way to correct that? Because, you know, I really wasn't on the market 300 days. Because I was in a hold position.
Well, that's the system calculating CDOM, or the DOM, the days on market.
Yeah.
Zero days.
But when you go on hold.
It should commence the day that it went back.
Yeah, but it didn't. It came back on, and Albert was nice enough to let me start over again.
Okay.
But
can
it
you
doesn't
give me the
automatically
ML?
let you
I'll get
start
the
the-
MLS number from Albert and we'll take a look at it. Yeah.
Well, it's well over. It's sold, but I just wanted to tell you about the holding situation. Because if anybody else puts it in hold, and it's on hold for like 3 or 4 months, and then they put it back active, they've got all these days.
You're not correct. We were saying hold is, it's off market and it shouldn't calculate.
Well, it did. It calculated all the days.
There might have
Does
been
add
a,
numbers.
It added the numbers.
If you have the MLS number, that would be helpful.
if you could get us the MLS number,
I have
I can
no-
get back to you.
It's
Or
way-
just give me your card and give me the address of the property, if you can, and then I'll get back to you.
It should stop, but it didn't.
It should stop, yes. That's why I want to see it. It might have just been that listing.
No, but he went ahead and corrected.
That's good, and that's okay, but I can still get an audit and a history of the listing. Yes?
Yeah, I have a question. Because we have a short inventory right now, there's one listing, it's been on the market, active listing for 400 plus days. So when I call, if it's still available, she said it's not available. I said, why you put on the active listing? He said, because the seller don't want it to cancel. Oh, so I don't know.
And they
It's
need to
not
put it in
available,
hold
but,
or,
so
yeah,
what, is that the violation?
or withdrawn.
Yes,
Report it.
Just check on the St. Gabriel, there's a condo on Broadway.
Okay, that's all
And
recorded.
it's not, it
Yeah.
shows active, but she said it's
Yeah,
not available.
that is a violation, and you can report it.
I don't know if you guys have a call, because it's so, we don't have inventory, only the few active, but that's one, it's always there.
Yes, report it.
Report it.
Okay, property description violations. Are you guys, any more questions on status? Or, yes,
Yeah, what if all the information on the S with this asterisk on the auto sale, what if all the information was correct and the broker just, or the agent just let it go?
that's a good question. What, the question was, did you guys hear him okay? What if all of the information on the estimated, when he put it in backup or pending, was correct and the listing sold through auto sell, and it has the asterisk with the S, but the agent felt that the information was correct, so they left it go to auto sell. That is still a status violation because you let it auto sell. You have an obligation to the MLS database to get in there and close the listing properly when it closes in a timely manner. And I think we give plenty of warnings for that. I think you get like 3 or 4 email warnings starting a week before it's going to go into auto sell. So it would still be a violation. But call the association so that if you do want to close it properly and get rid of the asterisk, they can help you and assist you with that. Yes?
Does this violation related to the carrot?
Correct.
Carrots, yes. Oh, you mean with the violation?
Commercial.
Yeah, commercial.
Oh, Carrots Commercial, you can report any Carrots Commercial listings through the main website at CRMLS.
Oh, because
They don't have a report it link in the Carrots Commercial database, but on the CRMLS website, under support, there's a link there that you could submit a violation for a Carrots listing. You're welcome. Carrots Commercial listing. I've got 10 minutes. Okay, we're rolling through property description violations. Property description is the public remarks. Oftentimes agents neglect to remember that it's public. Okay, we get lockbox combinations in there, we get security gate codes in there, we get security access into a property, we get private information about the property that should be down in agent remarks and not in property description. We also get agents that want to promote themselves instead of the property. It's very clear when you add a listing, there's some red writing above property description that pretty much gives you the highlights of what's not allowed in there. The top things that are not allowed in there that are occurring is you can't put your phone number in there, you can't put your name in there, you can't put your website address or your email address or an open house in there. The MLS database is not for you to promote yourself as an agent, it's for you to promote that property. So it's to be a description of the property and the community surrounding it and any legal descriptions that need to go in there about the property. Okay, that's in section 12.5 of the rules if you want to go read the big long version of it. Okay, next one, photos. No listing photo. Again, I'm still blown away that agents don't have photos in. But in the MLS, you have 5 days of submission of your listing to get at least one photo, that's just one photo of the property, and if you're only going to add one photo and it's a structural property, it does have to be of the exterior structure. You have to get that photo in within 5 days of submission, not business days, that's calendar days. You can put a listing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, as of the 6th day, you'll get a violation if they don't detect one photo in there, and that's all property types except land and lot. We're not going to make you take a picture of the dirt. Yes?
Does that include holidays?
Yes, it includes holidays as well. Yes, it includes holidays. Also, what you want to remember is on your photos, you're not allowed to brand your photos in any way. Your name can't be on there. You can't have a picture of the broker for sale sign out front where you can read all the writing and the phone numbers and see your picture. Okay, those are all violations. Okay, there's no branding of your photos. And again, like I said, If you only put one photo in, it has to be of the exterior structure. If you put in 30 photos, one of the photos has to be of the exterior structure. According to the rules, it doesn't have to be the primary photo or the #1 photo, but in marketing and internet, it is the best to put that in the #1 position. But if you have 30 photos, the exterior structure just has to be one of the 30. Okay? Yes, question?
If you get on the MLS, you find it so many without a photo.
Yes, you do. And they're being fined and getting violation letters. Because the MLS, I don't know if any of you have gotten a violation yet, you don't have to admit it. We have what's called, it's a data checker. So some of the things are automated, some of the things are reported, like I've already explained. Photo is a fully automated violation. No one has to report it. In other words, on the 6th day, the system will detect whether there's a photo on that property, and if not, an automatic violation goes out to the agent without the association or the MLS even being involved. It's automated. So those properties that are still in the system without a photo, the agent still is ignoring the violation. And because that's fully automated, those fines get really steep. According to NAR, we can get fines can increase up to a total of 15 grand. So ignoring something and just letting it build can get that high. And I've seen those photo violations get really high really fast. Associations work with you as best they can because they're the ones enforcing and collecting the fines. But if it's something blatant and somebody's just truly ignoring, then we all want them to correct it. That's about all I can say on that one. Inaccurate APN, this will be our quick one since this isn't the popular one right now. But inaccurate APN, it's very important that you get the accurate assessor parcel number in the database. And the reason for that is because that's what's like linking the tax information in the system. When an agent clicks on the APN in a listing, they can see the tax information, get a little mini profile, get some demographics about the area, and get some comps from the tax records around the area as well. So APN is an important part of the database as well, and it must be accurate. If it's not accurate, you will get a violation for it. If there's any reason why you have a property that doesn't have an APN, unincorporated land, brand new construction, whatever reason, it doesn't have an APN, you leave it blank. You don't put zeros in, you don't put in a fake APN, you don't put in a partial APN, you leave the field blank. You're going to get a warning that you're submitting a listing without an APN. But it's not a warning to prevent you from submitting the listing. You can still submit the listing, it's just going to trigger a violation if a valid APN is located in the tax records. That's another one of those automated ones. Yes?
What happens if a property has 2 APNs?
Then you put whatever the primary is and disclose the other in agent remarks. I'm going to go back to status for just one last thing. Do I still have 3 minutes?
One.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm going to be fast.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Whoa, you're fast. You have fast. The only reason why I want to go back to status is one of the big violations right now is late entry of listings. I don't know how many of you have gotten a violation for a late entry. Late entry of a listing, according to your contracts and according to the rules, and it's on your contracts and in the rules, you have 2 business days to get your listing into the MLS database unless you have an agreement between you and your seller that you're going to withhold it for whatever period of time and for however long. If you are going to withhold it from the MLS database, there is a CAR form called the SEL for late entry or non-entry, and you need to make sure that you complete that form at the time that you take the listing. The second most important step to that is make sure you get a copy of that SEL over to the association as soon as possible. Because when you do input the listing, say for example, you take a listing on April 1st, the seller doesn't want it input into the MLS until April 7th. You're going to hold it, you're going to have the SEL, and then on April 7th, you're going to go input. Your listing date, your contract date, when you put the listing in, is your April 1st date, correct? So when it goes into the system, because it's over 2 days from the 1st to the 7th, the automatic data checker is going to recognize that there was a late entry violation. You'll get the violation notice, but does it mean you're going to have to pay? No. If you have that SEL on file with your association, they'll go check the file, they'll see that it's there, and they'll ignore the violation. And it'll get waived. Okay, does that make sense? This is something that's occurring a lot right now too in your market. Agents are neglecting, or whatever reason, to put their listing into the MLS database. If you have the fear or a suspicion of that, you can report those as well. Yes?
Does it affect the days on the market?
Yes, it will affect the days on the market.
So
whatever's going on with your agreement.
So I take a listing, the seller tells me, wait till Sunday because I'm painting the house, I'm moving the mother-in-law to a convalescent home. I turn it in on Monday, that should be my day one in the market because I wasn't marketing that property. So it's gonna show 7 days on the market?
Yes, and just so you know, this is something that's a hot topic right now. It's at CAR and NAR right now.
Because technically the property is on hold. It shouldn't be counting days on the market.
Right, which in that example, I'm not going to say this is every scenario. I'm saying in that example, I would have input it and put it on hold, as long as hold, because it wasn't counting days on market, put it on hold, do not show, and then put it in to start on the 7th. But you're talking about not marketing it.
Correct, because the seller says, I'm giving you the listing today, I'm in town, my mother-in-law goes to the convalescent in a week, nobody marks the property, you put it on the market on, May the 7th.
Okay, I'm going to be devil's advocate just for a little bit here. I'm not going to be MLS Jeannette. I'm going to be a little bit of a troublemaker right now. How do I know you're not marketing that property? You didn't go tell anybody at the office that you got this listing.
No, it's a valid listing at Coldwell Banker Realty.
It's a valid listing, but you're not marketing it to any of your agents.
I'm not marketing it to the MLS.
You're not marketing it to any agent in the brokerage or anybody else you know.
There's no prohibition of that.
So I'm not even going to go there.
All right, no problem.
That's why I said this isn't MLS. I'm just going to say.
Well, the agents put in, don't show until a week later. That's okay?
What was the question?
Yeah. A late entry listing, he has a contract that he took on April 1st. But the seller's moving his mother to a home and cleaning up the home before they want to put it on the market in the MLS. So, until April 7th. He doesn't want to put it in the MLS until April 7th, and he wants days on market to start at 0 on April 7th.
It's a lot of time.
Saying that he's never marketed it.
It's a lot of time it happened like that.
I can do the questions after because I'm getting cut off. It's coming.
Most of the time.
I'll be here to answer any more questions, you guys, okay? I know a lot of these are some hot topics and some things that are going on. So, okay. Last question.
Pocket listing.
Pocket listings at CAR level as well. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that as well. And again, pocket listing, I'm just going to let you know, the MLS is not the police for that type of thing. You start going into other ethics and problems when things like that are occurring.
When are we going to get back our commercial database?
Soon. I know we keep saying that, but it is getting much closer.
Yeah,
Your ad edit will still be in Carrot's commercial, but the data will be back in Matrix for searching and comps and running reports.
Carrot's terrible as far
I
as
know.
updates.
Yeah,
I know.
I call on 10 listings.
I mean, I don't want to say I know, but I've heard.
They say
10 listings, I call on 5 I knew were sold.
And
It had
they
been
were,
sold for a long time.
and they weren't updated.
Still in the system.
That would be a violation.
that sooner they say it's last year, but still not done.
I know. And there's been a lot of work on the back end that's needed to occur, so
Somebody's sleeping.
I can guarantee it's not our team. Because they're there every day, I see them. Anyway, there's another flyer that Albert handed out to you. So this is just kind of a breakdown of the tiers and the rules.
for you on that one.